This is Irnieracing. We are continuing with the Facebook files part 2 from Jim Jordan, who's been releasing them on Twitter or the new X, and I don't know what day it is. What day is it? August 3rd probably? And so let's keep going, guys. So newly subpoenaed documents reveal Facebook bowed to the Biden White House pressure to remove posts. And so let's get into that thread, guys. As he goes through it. In summer of 2021, the White House was mounting a nationwide push for Americans to get vaccinated for COVID-19. Part of that push included a public and secret campaign to get Facebook to more aggressively police vaccine-related content, including true information. This wasn't the Biden admin's first pressure campaign either. In July of 2021, Facebook head of global affairs asked why Facebook had been censoring the COVID lab leak theory. The answer was clear: because we were under pressure from the administration. We shouldn't have done it. So, and we can take a look. He's been doing screenshots from all the information that he subpoenaed. Because we were under pressure from the Biden administration and others to do more, and it was part of the more package. We removed 4 claims that multiple fact checkers had labeled false, even though we didn't have a harm assessment. We shouldn't have done it. We stopped removing the man-made claim in May, and now we're removing the other 3 claims, COVID is new, patented, from remove to reduce and inform. And so here you have, this is email from Nick Clegg, guys, at Facebook on July 14th, 2021, throughout everybody, and he's doing a briefing on July 14th to Andy Slavitt podcast. Can someone quickly remind me why we're removing rather than demoting or labeling claims that COVID is man-made before May? And again, guys, this brings us on to the shadow banning, you know, rather than demoting or labeling. So they demoted my channel, the guys you're on right now, Marcel Irnie, and the Irnieracing News channel. That's how they did it. They demoted me probably by 99%. So let's move on. So Jim Jordan continues here. Biden administration officials claimed that many Americans were hesitant to get vaccines because of content, including true information they saw on Facebook. Here a quote: "They're killing people," end quote. President Biden said in July. He's targeting like Facebook. They're killing people with not blocking out information. So Facebook employees initially bristled at President Biden's accusations. And here you have, again, Friday, July 16th, their discussion, Biden admin health misinfo advisory. Okay, so thanks for sharing. There are so many untested assumptions in what the administration is saying recently. Social media misinfo is increasing. It's leading to death. It has an impact different from misinfo of other places. Not to mention how their definition of misinfo is completely unclear. As fair as it is to say we need to do better about reporting numbers that mean something, it also just seems like when the vaccination campaign isn't going as hoped, it's convenient for them to blame us. So again, internal email for the Facebook team and the misinformation policy team. So continuing on, but the tongue lashing directly caused Facebook to reevaluate its policies about COVID-19 content. Discussions that involved high-level company officials, including Clegg, and then Chief Operating Officer Sheryl Sandberg. So what did the White House want removed? Humorous posts about the vaccine. Serious jokes were too much for the White House. And so here we have evidence from the subpoena. Number 1, other vaccine hesitant content. A, Delta. The WHO generally objects to content that appears in media criticism of our COVID misinfo efforts. While we don't have specifics, we can extrapolate that they would like us to remove content that provides any negative information on or opinions about the vaccine without concluding that the benefit of the vaccine outweighs that information or opinion. Humorous or satirical content that suggests the vaccine isn't safe. B, mitigation. Similar to true information, we recommended adhering to expert advice that we allow open discussion of vaccine safety and efficacy and do not recommend removing this content. we could consider increasing the demotion strength on content being demoted that is still breaking through into the top posts. All right, let's continue, guys. So yeah, a lot of discussions. The government wants them to remove these hilarious comedy posts and, of course, information about real posts such as where they came from and the efficacy, etc. And they're giving a little bit of pushback on that in their internal discussions anyways. They're like, well, we don't want to do that. So let's continue. The Biden administration also wanted Facebook to remove true information as well. True information. Number one, Delta. A. Surgeon General wants us to remove true information about side effects. If the user does not provide complete information about whether the side effect is rare and treatable, we do not recommend pursuing this practice. B. Mitigation. Not recommended. We currently label all of this content and demote some of it. We could remove the content or increase the demotion strength. C. Background. Number one, the Surgeon General report on misinformation defines misinformation as including an anecdote about someone experiencing a rare side effect after a routine surgery. The specific anecdote may be true, but hide the fact that the side effect is very rare and treatable. By misinforming people about the benefits and risks of the surgery, the anecdote can be highly misleading and harmful to the public health. Number two, experts have advised us that it's important to allow people to have questions and allow open discussion of vaccine safety and efficacy to overcome vaccine hesitancy. For content that is presented in a sensational or shocking way or promotes vaccine refusal, we demote the content and apply a label with a link to accurate, authoritative information. We believe the information push partially combats the incomplete information while giving users space to express their views and share their personal experiences, guys. Crazy, huh? I mean, we all saw this. There was every post that had anything to do about vaccine or COVIDism always had this label underneath, and then they had their information true or false, even though the fact checkers.
And then they block yours and say false information.
Yeah, even though the fact checkers were not actually fact checking, they were just pushing what the WEF and CDC and government said was a fact, and those facts keep changing later on. Because they weren't actually facts, because the fact checkers it's just a company paid to hire following the recommendations of the lies of the CDC and the WHO bitches. And continuing, guys, as Clegg prepared to meet Biden's Surgeon General, he emailed colleagues, Cheryl is keen that we continue to explore some moves that we can make to show that we are trying to be responsive to the WH. Facebook isn't considering black holing certain documents. And here we have a screenshot of that. Number three, Cheryl is keen that we continue to explore some moves that we can make to show that we are trying to be responsive to WH. Monica, I have explained to her that you think the black holing idea doesn't work after all. So there you have the copy that they're sharing. Again, there's no reason to suspect that these copies aren't true because, like I said in the beginning, this was all subpoenaed from Facebook under threat that they would take them and threaten them to charge them with jail time of holding this information back. So Facebook then said, okay, we will cooperate and we'll send you this documents, and the investigation will be pending as long as we continue to cooperate. So Clegg continued, my sense is that our current course, in effect explaining ourselves more fully, but not shifting on where we draw the lines, is a recipe for protracted and increasing acrimony with the White House. So here is a look at the evidence from the emails. We should take stock that after the Friday meeting, but my sense is that our current course, in effect explaining ourselves more fully, but not shifting on where we draw the lines, or on the data we provide, subject to the agreement last night that we offered to the VPVs of content we removed, but only if demanded from other platforms on the same basis, is a recipe for protracted and increasing acrimonies with the WH as the vaccine rollout continues to stutter through the fall and the winter. Given the bigger fish we have to fry with the administration, data flows, etc., that doesn't seem a great place for us to be. So grateful for any further creative thinking on how we can be responsive to their concerns. Okay, guys, so that is them saying we probably should subdue and be the bitches of the government and do what they say, because we don't want further backlash with our own Facebook company on all other subjects that we are probably secretly doing, like child slavery and sex trafficking. Where are we at? 10 minutes, guys. I mean, it just keeps going and going. I'll try to finish off here soon. We'll take a break. So Facebook's leadership relented in August and agreed to change the company's content moderation policies because of the Biden admin's continued pressure. So here's context. Leadership asked Misinfo Policy and a couple of teams on product policy to brainstorm some additional policy levers we can pull to be more aggressive against COVID and vaccine misinformation. This is stemming from the continued criticism of our approach from the U.S. administration and a desire to kick the tires further internally on creative options. Now, we know there's a parallel effort to brainstorm product BTG levers we can pull. End quotation. So to finish off the story, guys, and Facebook caved to the White House again. There's a story actually on CNN. Let's take a look at that. Facebook takes action against disinformation dozen after White House pressure. So this is August 18th. This is an old school story. Facebook on Wednesday announced that it had taken action against the so-called disinformation dozen 1 month after the White House signaled out the 12 people it argued that they were responsible for a majority of coronavirus information. I'm surprised I didn't make that list. In making the announcement, Monica Bickett, Vice President of Content Policy at Facebook, pushed back against the narrative that the 12 accounts were primarily responsible for the spread of vaccine misinformation, writing that focusing on them misses the forest for the trees. But Beckert said any amount of COVID-19 vaccine misinformation that violates our policies is too much by our standards, and we have removed over 36 pages, groups, and Facebook on Instagram accounts linked to these 12 people, including at least one link to each of the 12 people for violating our policies. So on a side note, guys, this adds in my way. There were tons of groups that I was able to join on Facebook initially where people could share information, and those groups were shut down. But that was at the beginning on Facebook where, oh, where can I find information? And then those groups had to move to Telegram and Signal, and that's where the information eventually went. So Burkhardt added that Facebook had also imposed penalties on nearly 24 additional pages of groups, applied penalties to some of their website domains. The disinformation dozen was initially identified in March by the nonprofit Center for Countering Digital Hate, which called on Facebook to shut down pages operated by those. Yeah, the digital hate guys, they're just a woke organization funded, just like all this bullshit we're having these today with the government paying for the LGBTQ and all of the libraries and pushing the segregation. The White House seized, and Black Lives Matter, again, all that money goes into how much property do they own of those $80 million? Well, the Black Lives Foundation owns $54 million of property. So what was that about, right? That's not about anything but their own personal gain. The White House seized on the report and hammered the platform in July for allowing the people identified in the report to remain on its platform. So anyways, guys, this goes on and on and on. So let's get back to it. Thanks for watching. So these subpoenaed documents continue to reveal the Biden's administration efforts to censor speech. To be continued. Okay, guys, that's Irnieracing News. Hope you learned a little bit about the Facebook files. That's part 2. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.